Hello, boys and girls. Today we are going to begin reading the chapter book, Eerie Elementary, The School is Alive by Jack Chabert. We're going to begin with Chapter 1. Table of Contents. Chapter 1. It Begins. This is horrible, said Sam Graves. He was holding up a shiny orange sash. I can't believe I have to wear this. It was Monday morning, and Sam and his best friends, Antonio and Lucy, were standing in front of their lockers. They were waiting for the bell to ring. Wait, you're a hall monitor? Antonio said. I didn't even know Eerie Elementary had hall monitors. Sam kicked at the door. They do now, and it stinks. The principal called my mom last night and said I had been chosen. Ugh, it's going to be terrible. I have to stand in the hallway and yell, get to class, and no skateboarding? Well, at least you get to wear that cool orange sash, Lucy teased. Sam stuck out his tongue. Ring! Come on, that's the bell, Antonio said. Sam frowned. You guys go ahead. I have to make sure everyone has gone into class. We'll see you inside, Lucy shouted. Within moments, the hallway was totally empty. Totally empty, except for Sam. He began walking the halls. Sam looked through the double doors to the outside. He saw a classmate by the playground. Hey, Brian! Sam called out. The bell rang. You should, get to class? Brian frowned at Sam. Then he ran past him into the school. See? Everyone hates the hall monitor, thought Sam. He was about to close the door when a cold breeze blew past. He saw that Brian had dropped his hat near the playground. My teacher won't mind if I sneak outside for a second, thought Sam. The air outside was like ice. Orange and red leaves whipped across the ground. Sam shoved his hands into his pockets. He could see his breath. It looked like little ghosts were dancing through the air in front of him. Sam looked up at the school building. He thought it looked like an old castle made of crumbling red brick. The paint on the doors and windows was chipped. Big black crows sat on the roof watching Sam. The whole thing gave him the willies. Sam didn't want to be out there any longer. Then he had to. He ran over to the playground. He was near the swings when something grabbed his ankle. Sam looked down. His feet were sinking into the sand. Now, of course, feet do sink into sand, but not like this. Something was pulling him under. Help! Sam shouted. The sand was up above his sneakers. He reached down to try to pull his feet free. The sand was wet. Quicksand? This was just like the quicksand from the old Tarzan movies Sam's dad made him watch. But Sam was pretty sure that quicksand was found in jungles in the movies, not on real life playgrounds. Help! The playground is eating me! Sam shouted. The sand was up to his knees now. Sam fought and kicked. He watched as Brian's hat was swallowed up by the sand. It was no use. The cold, wet sand was up to his waist. Sam squeezed his eyes shut as he was pulled down, deeper and deeper. Table of Contents, Chapter 2, Mr. Nakobe. Just as the quicksand was about to swallow Sam, a hand grabbed his wrist. His eyes shot open. It was Mr. Nakobe, the old man who took care of the school. Mr. Nakobe tugged. Sam was yanked free. Sam gasped for air. The playground's sand, Sam said. It just tried to eat me. Mr. Nakobe slowly got to his feet. He was out of breath, too. His face looked like a piece of paper that someone had balled up and then tried to flatten again. He stared at Sam. His eyes were small and gray. A chill went up Sam's spine. Mr. Nakobe growled, You should be more careful, or you won't last long as hall monitor, Sam Graves. Be careful of what? Be careful because other parts of the school might try to eat me? Sam said. Then he paused. Wait, what does my being the hall monitor have to do with this? And why do you care if I stay on as hall monitor or not? Mr. Nakobe began walking away. Over his shoulder, he said, "Because I'm the one who chose you." "What does that mean?" Sam asked. But Mr. Nakobe didn't answer. He simply turned the corner, out of sight. Sam shook his head, thinking, this has to be the weirdest day of my life, and it's only 8:30 in the morning. He needed to tell Lucy and Antonio about the quicksand and about creepy Mr. Nakobe. But first, he had to ditch the orange sash. Sam darted inside and flung open his locker. Whoa! He stumbled back and threw his hand over his nose. Ugh, his locker stunk. The smell coming out of Sam's locker reminded him of rotten chocolate milk or something. Yikes, what did I leave in here? He asked. Sam shoved the sash inside his locker. Then he knew what it smelled like. Really bad breath. Table of Contents, Chapter 3. Tick tock, tick tock. Sam slammed his locker shut. He rushed into Miss Grinker's classroom. Miss Grinker was short and thin, with frizzy gray hair. She was listing everyone's parts for Friday's class play on the board. Sam slid into his desk between Antonio and Lucy. He whispered, "Guys, the freakiest thing just happened. I got trapped in quicksand on the playground." Lucy scrunched up her forehead. Antonio scratched his chin. Then they both tried not to laugh. "If it happened to you," Sam whispered, "you wouldn't be laughing." "Sam, Lucy, Antonio," yelled Miss Grinker. All three kids faced front. "Please pay attention," Miss Grinker said. "I am still giving out the parts for Peter Pan." "I'm playing Peter Pan," Antonio whispered to Sam. He had a big smile on his face. He always did. He was the happiest kid Sam knew. "And I'm playing Wendy," Lucy whispered. "Sam Graves, you'll be playing Noodler. He is one of Captain Hook's friendly pirates," said Miss Grinker. Sam nodded, but all he could think about was the man-eating playground. As the day wound down, Sam stared out the window. An old oak tree was blowing in the breeze. It was moving strangely. Sam leaned forward on his desk. The tree looked like a giant oak hand waving at Sam. Sam shivered. Then he looked at the clock across the room. How long until this day is over, he thought. Sam could hear the clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. How can I hear the clock from all the way over here, he wondered. Then the sound of the clock changed. Sam no longer heard tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. The sound became ba-bump, ba-bump. Sam was even more confused. That doesn't sound like a normal clock, but I do know that sound. Ba-bump, 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 ba-bump. It sounded like a heartbeat. Table of Contents, Chapter 4. Something Awakens. Sam covered his ears, but he couldn't get away from the sound of the clock. Not until ring! The day was over. Sam followed the other kids into the hall. He grabbed the hall monitor sash from his stinky locker. "See you tomorrow, Sam," Lucy said. She and Antonio threw their backpacks over their shoulders and ran outside. Sam sighed. He wanted to run home, too. He wanted to plop down on the couch and fall asleep. Then he wanted to wake up to learn this whole day had been a terrible nightmare. But instead, he had to go on hall monitor duty. Sam stood near the third grade lockers. The only thing keeping Sam awake was the cool chill across his neck. It felt like the school was breathing on him. Sam saw that he was beneath an air vent. Brr. There were no teachers around, so Sam thought there'd be no harm in sitting down. He slipped into a chair just outside the principal's office. I'll only rest here for a minute. But soon, Sam's eyelids felt heavy. They were closing. Sam was falling asleep. When Sam woke up, he was beyond confused. The halls were dark, nearly pitch black. What time is it? He wondered, standing up. Sam rubbed his eyes. He ran to the end of the hall. He peered through the big double doors. It was black as midnight outside. How long was I asleep? My mom is going to freak out, thought Sam. I have to get home now. He yanked on the door, but they were locked. Hello? Sam whispered. Is anyone here? I fell asleep and... Clang, clang, clang! Sam spun around. All of the locker doors flung open, one after the other, all the way down the hall. Sam jumped back. His heart was pounding. Clang, clang, clang! All the locker doors slammed shut again. Sam was really hoping this was just a nightmare. He spun back around. He tugged as hard as he could on the doors, but it was no use. He was trapped. Trapped inside Eerie Elementary. Contents, Chapter 5, The Skeleton. The double doors flew open, knocking Sam to the floor. Then they slammed shut again. He was still trapped inside the school. Ouch! Sam yelled. Everyone knows you can't get hurt in a dream, so this must be real. He needed to escape. The school was coming to life all around him. Sam ran into his classroom. He threw his hands against the large window. He was hoping to see someone, anyone, who could help him. All he saw was the giant oak tree blowing in the wind. But it wasn't windy. Sam saw other trees, and none of those trees were blowing. And the leaves on the ground weren't whooshing around at all. The only thing moving was that tree. Could the tree be alive? Sam thought. Smash! The glass window shattered. Sam fell to the floor as one of the tree's long, twisted branches came crashing through. It wrapped around Sam's leg. Sam began hitting the branch. Whack, whack, whack! Finally, the branch's grip loosened. Sam was able to crawl away. Behind him, he heard the branch scraping across the floor like fingernails on a chalkboard. The tree was reaching for him, trying to pull him back. He pushed his way through fallen desks. He stumbled back into the hallway. Pieces of glass crunched beneath his feet. Then, clang, clang, clang! All the locker doors were slamming open and shut at once. All the classroom doors were doing the same thing. But worst of all was what Sam saw next. A figure stood at the end of the hallway. It had a body like a skeleton. Lights flashed and doors clanged, but the figure didn't move. It just stood there, perfectly still, staring at Sam. I wonder what Sam is really seeing. Is it really a skeleton? Who could it be? I'm so excited to find out. See you next time.